Good morning. It's the 4th of March 2023 and I'm here in Munich, or on the edge of Munich. It's freezing cold. It's 6:30 in the morning. It's I think -2. I'm not quite dressed accordingly to the weather, but it's gonna be a nice and sunny day, so I'll be very hot if I have a thick jacket. And the plan is to walk all across Munich, so better have some light stuff on me because I'm gonna get warm when the sun comes out. Okay, let's get started. This creek here is the very edge of Munich, and there's a nice bridge here. This is my starting point today. It's called the Russian Bridge, even though it has nothing to do with the Russians. It was built in 1916 by French prisoners who were here in this area. So we can see 1916, beautiful decorated bridge. It served as a road here going into Munich, and in 1988 they built a new bridge there and decided to keep this as a historical monument. Beautiful. Oh, here is Nemo. Cool little fish. Here in Germany you'll find quite often fish farms, especially trouts, because the waters here are cold and clear. It's something Germans here in the south like to eat. It's cool. Guess it'll close in the morning. Entering Munich. Who would think this is one of the biggest cities in Germany? The sun is coming out finally. It's a very frosty morning, cold. Hopefully the first sun rays get to warm me up a little bit. The Langwieder See here in Munich. In the summer it's a very popular destination for all the people to come here, have something to eat, swim. But this nice cold March morning with the fog and the sun, it's beautiful here. Let's go check out the water. Frosty dock, the metal clinging, the cold air from the lake. I just passed under the Ring highway here in Munich. It's one of the busiest highways in Germany. This one was finished about 20 years ago. And here, only 100 or 200 meters further, the Ring highway, the construction, the initial highway, the construction started back in 1938, but it never got finished because the war started in 1939, so there was no more money and time to finish the highway. So now it's a protected natural and historical site. You can walk along and enjoy the beauty with some small lakes around here, nature, birds, and have a quiet time just next to one of the busiest highways in Germany. So far I've been walking just in this farming area, random houses here and there, but now we're actually entering the first suburbs of Munich with the first bus station I can see here. So yeah, Munich. About 1.5 million people live here. It's the third biggest city in all of Germany, Bavaria's biggest city and the capital city. And with almost 5,000 people on a square kilometer, it's the most densely populated city in all of Germany. But this is just some small family houses. We're gonna see later in the city center how dense it gets. This is how a brand new school in Munich looks like. Quite fancy. So 2 kilometers about into the city, and there's a farm here with a farm tractor, and they have some vending machines with some fresh noodles, eggs, so you can get yourself some fresh stuff here from the farm. And it's middle in the city. Here's a cigarette vending machine here in Munich, and just to show you some prices, 8 euro, big pack 10 euro, 8, 10, 8, 10, yeah, that's the prices. How about your country? Is it cheaper, more expensive? I don't smoke, so I don't really care, but I know a lot of people smoke, so kind of curious if Germany compared to the rest of the world, is it like in the middle, higher, or in the lower range? When I come to a new city, I normally like to visit a cemetery. It's interesting to see how the cemeteries are laid out, how people like to decorate the graves of their loved ones. Sometimes it's quite simple, quite plain. Sometimes it's just grass around. They keep it very simple. Sometimes it's just concrete and or over decorated. So here in Munich, Westfriedhof, it's actually nice. A lot of trees, nature. It's very quiet here in the middle of the city. Now in the spring, hearing all the birds and many graves. So here we have even Russian, I guess, Maria Gotovchikov, Mikhail Gotovchikov. Yeah, it's very nice. Standing in front of the Munich Uptown building. It's the highest skyscraper here in the city, 38 floors, 146 meters. Which is quite rare here in Germany, except Frankfurt am Main. They have some skyscrapers, but normally buildings are not taller than the highest church in town or in the city. Here I am at a residential complex close to the Olympia Mall. So I guess this whole complex must have been built at some point in the 70s, before or after the Olympics. This one is a little bit unusual, but it's quite tall, more than 20 stories for a residential building, which you don't see that often here in Bavaria. So here I'm just standing on a bridge. I didn't even see on a map that I'm gonna cross this abandoned railroad here into the Olympia Park. And it's kind of amazing. Looks like almost I'm somewhere in Russia or Ukraine with abandoned railroad next to some high-rise residential buildings. So I figured there's something down the road, so let's go check it out. So just down this direction, following the railroad, in the distance, there's a building. So it used to be a train station. So must have been maybe for the Olympics here, for the visitors to come. So let's go check it out. It looks quite interesting actually. I'm really glad I stumbled upon this abandoned railroad. So this is a reason I want to walk through every city, and you get to see many things which you would never experience if you just get on a subway or on a bus. When you start walking, you just come across something like here in the middle of Munich, next to the Olympia Park and the Olympia Stadium. Walking on this abandoned railroad line here in Munich, which I never knew existed. I have been many times actually to Munich because this is close to where I lived. Never heard of this place, never seen this place. Nobody ever told me that something interesting like this exists here. Who does this one belong to, huh? See? What you find here. So actually there was a subway or a commuter line coming to here and was quite frequented during the Olympics and until the 80s for every soccer game here in the Olympia Stadium. And then it got abandoned because not many people were using this. But it's, yeah, unbelievable something like this exists here in Germany. It looks actually more like I'm in Chernobyl, in the Pripyat region of like abandoned city. Just a railroad, everything grown in. The one thing which reminds you still somewhat close to people is the city highway here in Munich. You can hear the cars, obviously, so. But it's so cool. I'm glad I came here on time, because who knows, maybe 5 years from now. I just read on Wikipedia that the city of Munich bought this from the German railroad, so at some point it's gonna be demolished and probably just, I don't know, another park or something built here instead. So I've been waiting for an hour here on the train station. No train arriving, nothing coming. I wonder what's going on. But looks like people still coming here on the platform. You can see there's a path which is not completely grown in. Interesting. So here we are at the abandoned train station. Looks like it's quite busy here from all the footsteps here around. Many spray cans everywhere, you can see. So it looks like it's quite busy. It's some points during the day. People coming here leave their marks behind. It's actually quite cool. Somehow might be somebody sleeping here. I don't know. Let's go upstairs. It's quite grown in here. Be careful. Okay, let's check it out up there. Oh, there used to be some fences here. Over. It's all closed in, so nobody can enter. I guess for young people these fences don't mean anything. Same like for this guy here. It's actually amazing. Nice to see this place here in the center of Munich. So here I'm standing in the middle of the Olympia Park. Just across here, the Olympia Tower, the stadium, and the Olympic Village, or the buildings for all the athletes here for the Olympic Games in 1972. So it's been more than 50 years. Last year, in September, 50 years since the Olympic Games here in Munich. So let's go check out this Olympic Village here. Could you imagine you're an athlete, sportsman, and you're taking part in the Olympic Games, competing for your country, which is the biggest dream of any athlete, and you're in your designated room where you're staying, and at 4 in the morning somebody climbs through your window or door, gets into your room and takes you as a hostage, and in the end you die because a terrorist group kidnaps you and kills you. This is not just a made-up story. This happened exactly here, in this building, in 1972, on the morning of the 5th September. A Palestinian terrorist group kidnapped all these Israeli athletes and coaches. 2 of them were killed here in the building, and the rest of them killed at the airstrip in Fürstenfeldbruck while the police was trying to free them. That was a shame of the Olympic Games in 1972. Sometimes this is one of my thoughts too. Very cute little bungalows. Some of the athletes stayed here during the Olympic Games. I think now it's students staying here. German Democratic Republic. It's quite the size of the Olympic town or village. This is a memorial here in the Olympic Park for these 9 athletes who were killed during the Olympic Games. Too bad that the security wasn't good enough, that athletes during the Olympic Games can't just feel safe and go about their competitions and the sports. May it never happen again. This is just amazing. Look at this. What an architecture. The Olympic Stadium in Munich, entering from the park over the city highway. The Olympia Tower. It's like some kind of cocoon spider web thing, I don't know, but it's really, really amazing. So unique. The Olympia Park in Munich is quite amazing. Many things to see here. Munich is definitely worth a visit. So if you come here, Olympia Park, you can spend a lot of time and see many things. Especially when the weather is nice, you can enjoy your day here. Let's go check out the viewpoint here in the Olympia Park and see how the view is from up there on top. It's quite an amazing view from here. Down here, the Olympic Stadium, the Olympia Tower, BMW World and the production site here. And in the distance, I don't know if you can see the Allianz Arena, where FC Bayern München is playing, which Munich is quite famous for. Here we are, seems like in a richer part of town. This house is newly built, looks amazing. This one here looks quite good too. So the prices here in Munich of real estate are the highest in all of Germany. There's many actors, many soccer players, obviously playing for Bayern München, and many rich people live here in München because it's close to the Alps, it's a nice region of Germany. So the prices here are extremely high. So normal people can't afford to build a house here in Munich, and even the rent is so high. Many people move out and take the train every day and commute to work. So this is a typical part of the inner city. Buildings, 3-4 story buildings. It's kind of going here in a star direction, streets everywhere. And here you can tell how densely populated Munich is, because it's building to building to building, and yeah, very densely populated. Therefore, the most densely populated German city, and maybe because of this too, quite expensive. Cool sculpture. So now we're kind of getting closer to the city center, heading south. We're gonna stop by in a park shortly. I'm gonna show you, and then head to the Marienplatz, which is the central square here in Munich. Okay. At the Victory Gate, here entering the city center, which the Germans built for the victory against Napoleon and France in the middle of the 19th century. I'm in the Englischer Garten, the English Garden, here in the center of Munich, which is one of the biggest parks in the world, within the top 10, and it's even slightly bigger than the Central Park in New York. It stretches for kilometers on end from the city center all to the north of Munich, and it's always pretty busy in the summer on nice days like today when it's sunny. People coming out for a walk, go to have a drink, ice, to the beer gardens, just walk along the water, take their dogs out. I guess same like Central Park, jogging, bicycling, doing whatever's fun. So yeah, this is the Englischer Garten. This here is a typical Bavarian beer garden here in the Englischer Garten, with a Chinese pagoda. And all the tables around the pagoda. It's kind of funny being in Bavaria, in München, and the Chinese pagoda in the park. So this is still more like a winter market, selling some sausages, some hot wine, coffee, hot chocolate, and I think the beer garden, the real beer garden, is not really even open. So I just got myself a bratwurst, sausage, German sausage, in the German bun, and Hofbräu, a real German beer. Prost. Delicious. Park is quite full today. Beautiful day, nice weather, and everybody is just heading out here, spend some time outside. There is one cool feature here in Munich, in the park. The canal or river coming underneath this bridge here is creating an artificial wave. So there's guys coming here and trying to surf the waves, which is pretty much, I think, unique for surfing in the city. This one's pretty good. So now we're heading into the real city center here in Munich. This is the Feldherrnhalle, which they have some kind of protest today, and the Theatinerkirche, both two famous sites here in Munich. I'm not going anywhere inside because I don't really have the time for it, so you have to come and check it out for yourself when you're in Munich. So here we are, the pedestrian zone in Munich. As you can see, many people out today, Saturday, shopping, restaurants, coffee, meeting friends. We're almost at the Marienplatz, just a couple more, 100, 200 meters. Here, if you have some money left to move to Munich, apartment, 63 square meters, 620,000 euro, plus garage spot. Here, this one looks nice, quite big, 148 square meters. That's quite cheap, 1.339,000 euro. Apartment, 80.72 square meters, 630,000, and always parking plus. Here we are at the famous Frauenkirche, or the Women's Church here in Munich, one of the most famous sites here in the central district, along with the Marienplatz. Quite beautiful. Not gonna go inside, just head to Marienplatz and see how many people there are now. So here we are at the Marienplatz and the city hall in Munich, which is quite famous. I don't know at what time of the day. There's a clock play up there, and then they start with some music, and this whole thing is, the figures are going around, and I've never seen it because I was never there at that time, but that's quite famous here. And this is the famous Marienplatz, where everything costs twice or three times the regular price here in Munich. So if you want to have a coffee or somewhere, don't take it here. On the river Isar, that's the river going through Munich, and in the summer along the banks on the gravel there's many people coming down, having barbecue, just sunbathing, swimming. Now just the cold. And there's the fish ladder here for the fish to go down the river or up the river. It makes it much easier for them to swim up and down. The beautiful monument of the Peace Angel. Looks very nice when you're crossing the river, looking at the golden angel up on top. Here I am, 40 kilometers since this morning when I started, and I started all the way in the west. It's 46 kilometers through the city, and it's getting dark. It's 6:15. I'm here at my last station. It's the old airport in Munich, which was serving Munich until 1992 in Riem, but they shut it down and built a new one. So I wanted to see if I can find anything here, but I guess it's gonna be dark. But anyways, I made it. Walking through Riem here, and like you see, nothing left of the airport. All brand new housing complexes, many new apartments and houses around here for the people in Munich. Nothing left from the airport, no landing strip. and it's very dark. I still have to go another 4 or 5 kilometers to get to the train station and take the train back to get my car. I actually found on the map a piece of the runway which is still left here, but it's all behind these housing complexes, kind of in the forest. The good thing is here above Munich, the sky is very lit up, so you don't see it on the camera, but I can see clearly where I'm walking here in the forest. It's quite easy, so I hope I'll find the runway easily. Here we are on the last maybe 200 meters of the runway. So where the big jumbo jets used to wait for their permission to take off, now there's nothing left, just this little bit of the runway which is cut off here. Okay. It's interesting how, see my foot, how thick the concrete here is. It's like even 2 layers. Interesting. And that's Munich behind us. I made it 45 kilometers already through Munich, and now just have to get to the train station. Okay guys, meet you at the train station. Finally, at the train station. It's been 13.5 hours for 46 kilometers all the way through Munich. I had a fun day. Yeah, especially the abandoned train station was quite something. I really enjoyed it. Lots to see. It was a beautiful day. I kind of tried to interact a little bit with some locals, but nobody was ready to stand in front of the camera, so that's a bummer. But other than this, it was good. So now I needed 13.5 hours to walk here. The train's gonna take me in 50 minutes back to my car and then head home. Okay guys, I hope you enjoyed the video this time from Munich, and see you next time from a different city. Okay, bye.